Well, here we are again, back in Mittenrahm, in the Brakenrahm. End of week 76 of the overall project. Not sure how long it's been since I started working on Mawn specifically. Probably a couple of months. We're actually on render 32 at the moment. I can't play on this. It's far too intensive, even in the end where there's actually nothing to load for a kilometer in every direction. As you can see, things have changed. The duplication of the curvature that I've been doing in stripes of wool was turning into just a little bit too much of a headache, putting it on the other side. And I just decided that there was no point in the duplication, like doing it by hand. I'm more for, what am I proving? What am I achieving? Literally, it's a canvas on which I am decorating. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do it with structure blocks. There's no reason to do it any other way. So yeah, I did these structure block chains where you can put a structure block within another structure block, and then whatever's saved in that other structure block will automatically be loaded. It won't be loaded straight into the world, but when you load the primary structure block, the other structure blocks will still be there, and you just need to click load, and they'll duplicate exactly. All I had to do was go along and hit the mirror from left to right, because obviously that's I was moving from the right to the left, left to the right rather, and I just had to mirror it, and then I just click load, and it would be exactly where it was supposed to be. It did have some misfires, some scary moments, but they were resolved, fortunately. And once that was done, I had to figure out these sections. These were left in place, so I knew where they extended beyond the cut-off line. But yeah, obviously, as you've seen, I moved on to the actual decoration. Not the home stretch, the inside still needs to be done completely, and this decoration is going to take a while. I'm surprised at how much I've done already, but it is a fairly simple process. Initially I put down a red wool line, and then did the blackstone. And then I switched to doing it all red wool and converting the wool into blackstone with the fill command, which is what I did with these sections. They were all obviously wool I duplicated. I intended to build the far side by hand in blackstone, as I explained. That didn't pan out, and I just swapped them with the fill command to blackstone afterwards. Not entirely happy about having to do that, but it's an immense amount of block placement, and I just didn't feel like it. But I reached this point where now I realize I need to have an idea where these swirls are when I'm doing the inside. So now I'm using a distinct block as the core. So that I know where they are, roughly. I'll use the red wool still to go over that, but when I convert the red wool to blackstone, the crying obsidian will be left behind still, so I won't lose it. As you can see, I'm experimenting with shading, some amount of shading anyway, and also just trying to give myself some idea about how this might work in turn when it comes to it. I discovered that from a distance, the crying obsidian becomes very similar to the void background. I may make a use of that at the front, where I've noted a problem with needing to block off some of these sections to cover the lights, but then finding myself having the distortion, the color altered, because usually with the render distance down, these windows, these gaps, are looking straight through onto the void, and it works quite nicely. But building a black stone cover just a few blocks behind them is changing how that looks from a distance, which I'm not happy with. So I've been on the lookout for some sort of alternative, and you know, that may well be yeah, you know, yeah, you can see this is yeah, so let's conduct an experiment. This may screw with the lighting because it's obviously a light source. I don't think it's a powerful one. I don't think it's as much as frog lights, but I think it's pretty hefty. Obsidian itself isn't too bad as a backing, but yeah, this may overpower the effect because there's so much light back here. It's making it brighter than I ever intended. I mean, the colour's pretty decent. Okay, let's turn off the render distance so the computer slows, and take a that's it. I need to cancel the potion. It doesn't seem to be having too much of an impact. Yeah, the crying obsidian is quite a weak light source. Yeah, what is that? Let's see, that's not too bad. It may just be at the edge though, so it's not actually coming through the glass. I'll have to see how I feel about that. That's something for later. It's a final touch, part of the internal. But as you see, I'm obviously focused now on building up the top, and this will carry through to the heads. Yeah, there is still a little bit of work to do, not just in terms of a lot of the highlighting, but yeah, there's a few bits and pieces, but nothing I haven't covered before. I'm just hoping that I can get through the decoration fairly quickly. It is, as I said, it's very straightforward. It really shouldn't take much, which is nice because, you know, I think I would like to move on. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But before I get bogged down and just forget that I'm actually making a video for YouTube, I'll stop it there and just say again, and then get on with it. You can see now that the potion's been cancelled, it's quite indistinct. I'm fairly okay with that. That's been obvious from the beginning. The point of the this little shading is to try and give it a trace that makes it clear there's something there, but without necessarily making it obvious. And I actually realized when I was looking at this at the beginning of the video, I could do with carving this backwards. I don't need this to be a perfectly straight line. I needed the straight line to know where the line was, but I don't need the line to be visible. So I may peel this back and follow the curves a little bit more. See how that goes. But yes, that's enough. I will get on with some of this work and see you in a couple of weeks.